took away from me everything I had. You broke my will, baby, treated me so bad. You did me wrong right from the start. Then there's a big black hole where once was a heart. Well, where once was a heart. Messed up my mind, thought it was the end. Never thought that I could ever love again. Took me right down, baby, with a still right hand. Made me feel like a child inside, like a shell of a man. You did me wrong right from the start. And there's a big black hole where once was a heart. Well, there's a big black hole where once was a heart. Treated me bad right from the start. You cheated and lied, you tore my heart apart. And there's a big black hole where once was a heart. Well. Like that's called a big black hole, you know. Thank you. Hi, this is Larry McCray, and I'm signing off at Coluna Blues Rock.
You're from Detroit, but you was born in Arkansas, right?
McNeil, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a state between Mississippi, land of regional Delta blues. It's between Louisiana, land of jazz, cajon band, Frank sonorities, Frank sound, Tennessee, land of soul, and Oklahoma.
And Texas.
Yeah, and Texas.
And Texas also.
Texas and Oklahoma, land of western swing.
Western swing.
Yeah, I love western swing.
Yes.
We can say that Arkansas, it's a sound mix for all that excellent musical styles.
Well, you know, my personal experience with the different musical styles of those 4 states are that they all have similarities, but then they all also have very distinct differences. So by the fact that I was from where I was from, I think that we were in a very central location and influenced by all 4 of the other different states. There are many good bluesmen from the state of Arkansas. Luther Allison was from Arkansas. Albert King was from Arkansas as well. And many other bluesmen migrated through Arkansas. Arkansas has a rich musical history, you know, so it wasn't a bad place to be from, but I don't think the people of Arkansas were as noted maybe as Louisiana or as Tennessee or some of the other states, you know, because Arkansas was Arkansas was a very depressed state economically, a very poor state. And it was less opportunities there than it was in the other states. Yeah.
When you were young, what did you listen? And how did you start it with the guitar?
Okay. Well, when I was very young, my parents' music, what they listened to was traditional blues and a small amount of jazz. I see you have the Blind Willie McTell tattoo.
Yeah.
I listened to Blind Willie when I was a young boy. So I heard Blind Willie McTell, Robert Johnson, Morgan Babb, Mahalia Jackson, you know, many traditional gospel and blues.
Yeah.
Then when I was a little older, I learned about electric blues, like the blues of B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King, Albert Collins. A little older, Guitar Gable, Guitar Slim. I had a huge variety. I listened to everything everything that was available. But you know, mostly in the younger years, I was exposed to blues and gospel music.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Brazilian blues men right here. Flavio, hey man, how you doing, Larry? All right. Blues and children.
Yeah.
My friend, yes. So you know, that's another thing that I really appreciate about the opportunity to come here. You get a chance to meet other musicians from a whole different region, but yet and still we have similar vision for music, and the influences and the styles, the things that it brings together is a wonderful change for the music. And I think that that's the only way that the music can grow. You know, Blind Willie been gone a long time. Robert Johnson been gone. Everything almost possible to be said has been said. The only way we can come up with something new is to fuse the influences. And that's a great opportunity.
In my arm, I have Jim Morrison from Doors, Allman Brothers, Blind Willie, and Motorhead. So
wide variety. Yeah.
And it's true that your major influence was the Three Kings.
The Three Kings. Yeah. But my big sister, my oldest sister, is Clara, is the one that put the guitar in my hand.
Oh, okay.
And she was 18 years my elder, and more like a second mother, but she was very accomplished with guitar, and that's what, she was the first one I seen playing guitar, and that's what made me want to play. When I saw my big sister playing and I hear the sound, my face and eyes would light up, man, and I was very excited about music, you know. Yeah.
You said that you have a strong soul influence in gospel, for you, which are the major bands of soul and gospel in your life?
Okay. Well, you know, I have a hard problem choosing favorites and putting superlative in a situation because I like so many things. It's the same for me if someone asked me what is my favorite food. I would have a hard time making one choice, you know, or two choices, because I think that life, they say variety is the spice of life, and I believe in that, because the more things that you absorb, the more things that you pay attention to, I think it enriches your life. But in terms of what some of my favorites are, my electric blues was most influenced by B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King, and Albert Collins, because I was born in 1960. When I was a teenager, they were at the height of their careers. They were in the prime of their lives. So I was a little boy seeing these great artists in the prime of their career. I saw the best of B.B. King. I saw the best of Freddie, the best of Albert Collins, the best of Albert King when they were in their prime and doing their best work. So I was very lucky to come along at the time when I did. And then also I feel lucky to be the last or the first of my generation to connect with the last of their generation. I saw all of them and got a chance to personally meet them at the last of their career. When Albert Collins passed away, I was very close with him and was very good friends with him the last 3 years that he lived. Same for Albert King. B.B. King, I met B.B. King in 1987, and from 87 until now, I've had a speaking relationship. When I see people, hey, how you doing? Oh, how you doing now, guy? You know, a personal relationship, you know, with him. And when I was a kid in Arkansas, I never dreamed that I would even get to say hello or even get close enough to speak to either one of those guys. So it was amazing for me. And I feel that my life, I lived in a dream for 5 or 10 years before reality sank in. I'm like, is this real? Am I really doing this? You know, it was a great experience for me. And that is probably the most irreplaceable thing about my musical career is the people that I got a chance to meet. I met Aretha Franklin. I got so lost about the question, I almost forgot what he asked me. But influence-wise, I think that the most important soul female singer were Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, Rita Gladys, Etta James, and Candy Stanton. Them were my 4 favorite female singers.
Yeah.
My 4 favorite male vocalists was Little Milton, B.B. King, Johnny Adams, and who else would be on there? Bobby Bland, Bobby Blue Bland. I think those were the most powerful blues soul vocals at the time. Wilson Pickett, Joe Tex. Then would have to be, of course, James Brown got to get in there somewhere. I mean, you know, for soul music, you know, and for funk music, James was very influential. But I think that those names were some of the biggest names, and I think that those names influenced the most people. Most people learn from those people, you know, from their performances.
Good people.
Yeah, them some good ones. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Sit on your daddy's knee. Come on, sit on your daddy's knee. You got something down there, baby, working the hell out of me.
Here in Brazil, the blues with more success is Chicago blues. Can you explain the difference between Chicago blues and the South blues?
Yeah. Well, I think that each region has its own influence. Like we were saying, you know, the Texas blues, the Memphis, Tennessee, you know, Detroit blues. Every region has its musical contribution. But I think the difference, I think Chicago is the first city to electrify the blues of the South. The blues moved from the South, all the people migrated from the South to Chicago. By the time it got to Chicago, they discovered electric instruments, and electric blues, I think, was born in Chicago. Jimmy Rogers says that he invented electric guitar before Les Paul. So that he says, you know, of course I have no way to verify it, but if you ever had met Jimmy Rogers, or if you ever sat down and talked to Jimmy Rogers, he would tell you that he invented the first electric guitar today.
Last week I interviewed Jimmy D. Lane.
Jimmy D. Lane?
Yeah.
Jimmy Rogers' son.
Yeah. Great guy. Great guy.
Man. You ask him about his dad, he'll tell you. Did he speak about that? Did he speak about the electric guitar?
Yeah.
That his father was the first one to...
No, not that story. Yeah.
But when you see him again, you ask about it. You ask him about that. Jimmy will tell you that he invented the electric guitar in 50-something. I don't know exactly what year. Which I think Les Paul was recognized around 55, somewhere along in there. So he says he had it before then. So maybe it's true. I believe it. They also say that Earl Hooker invented a wah-wah in the 50s. He had a wah-wah effect back, and if you have any of the old records, his master of the effect was better than anybody else. I know Earl Hooker could make his guitar almost speak words. I love you. You know, what you say? You know, he could, his guitar spoke many words, you know.
Let's talk about your sound. You're a Gibson guy, right?
Primarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between the Fender and the Gibson styles? Yeah, because in blues, the majority plays with Fender Strats.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the Gibson and Fender sound are different for two reasons. Gibson has what they call humbucking pickups. Fender has single coil pickups. The difference in the sound is that Fender guitars, the single coil, are more focused on the high end and the brighter side of the instrument. Gibson sound is more meatier, thicker, and a little bit darker sounding, but heavy to rise above the top of the rest of the band. If you have a very loud band and your band play powerful, I think that a Gibson sound works better because it speaks with a bigger, louder voice, more like this.
Like Fred King.
Yes. And then, okay, look at the difference between Freddie's sound and Albert Collins. Albert Collins used Fender Telecaster. His sound was very bright, very cutting, and sharp, but it comes down to the individual. What do you prefer? And for me, for my style, my particular style, I played Fender guitar for a long time in my career. But when I went to Europe and experienced Gary Moore, the British rocker Gary Moore, was the first person that made me want to use humbucker. Not because I wanted exactly his sound, but I wanted more beef and more body to my sound, similar to what he had. So when I went and experienced him, listened to him play, when I went home, I put my Fenders down and I started playing humbuckers. I started playing Gibson because I wanted a bigger sound, and he is the one who made me realize that was the sound that I preferred by watching Gary Moore.
When Clapton has started, he started with Fender, but he listened to Fred King.
Yep.
So he
changed.
Yeah, he changed because it was more dense, more heavy.
What he said, and this is a quote from Eric Clapton. He said that Freddie King taught him how to make love to the guitar. That's his statement. He said that. So, Freddie King, I think, was an awakening for him and very influential in terms of how he approached playing blues. So, we all are influenced by something. No one come here knowing everything. Nobody's born, no babies come with a guitar in their hand. So we all are influenced by something. So Freddie was very influential over him also.
Yeah. He's my favorite blues, in electric blues.
Yeah, Freddie.
Freddie, man.
Freddie.
Yeah,
right now. Yeah.
You're recording a new album, right?
Yes.
Can you tell about the project?
Okay, yeah, sure. This last album, what I just did, is a cover record, and it's covers from all the favorite rock and roll tunes that I like. So I did songs, a song from ZZ Top.
ZZ Top.
Yes, I did "Waiting for the Bus." I did "Stealing," Uriah Heep. I did "Can't You See" by Marshall Tucker. I did "Unchain My Heart," Ray Charles. I did "I Am No Angel," Greg Allman. I did "Love the One You With," Crosby, Stills and Nash. I did which one? Wild Horses from the Rolling Stones. It's 12 songs, but it's all 12 songs. We hadn't been doing them with the band at first. Oh, I also did Leonard Skinner, Needle and Spoon. But all of these songs are some of my favorite classic rock and roll. And sometimes we do rock and roll songs, but we're doing them in our own version. So that's what I did. I did all these classics, but I changed the version to my version,
yeah,
and made them bluesy, made kind of blues twist on all those songs. And I never had the opportunity to do that before. So I had always written all of my own music. I figured that if I do classic music that everybody's already familiar with, that maybe it would open some wider doors for us and expose people. It don't matter how they find out about you. It matters that they do find out about you. So if it took going to the classics for the people to recognize us and to recognize the direction we're trying to go, I'm thinking that maybe it will create bigger opportunities in the future. So it's nothing I aspire to do all the time. It's probably a one-time thing and I'll never do it again. But this was in order to introduce myself to people who yet aren't exposed to our music, by introducing them to popular music that they're already familiar with, but with a slight twist.
Yeah. It's curious because you worked at the GM factory, right? Mm-hmm. And the old bluesman worked in the cotton fields. Do you think that work on a factory collaborate in your music? I mean, the pain, the hard work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've always been a blue collar person, and I'm not ashamed of the fact that I come from that. Many people, some people are ashamed of their background. Okay, say for instance, some people grew up very poor. I don't think that that's anything to be ashamed of. I think that should be a celebration, because okay, look where I come from, but look where I have evolved to. So it's nothing wrong with none of us choose who we are. None of us choose our skin color. None of us choose anything about life when we are born. But when you are born, you must deal with you must play the cards that you are dealt. So whatever you are once you are here, you have no choice. You can't change that. But you can make the best of your situation and be proud of where you come from. Be proud of your hardships and things that you have to deal with in your life, because if you can overcome them, that just makes you a bigger person, and it adds strength to your character. So I'm not ashamed. I'm proud of the fact that I was able to overcome it. So I'm very comfortable with being a blue collar person, and I want to continue to be that in life. I don't aspire to be a big star. I don't need sunglasses, or I don't need a suit for me to know who I am and for me to know where I come from. So yeah, and I think that yeah, I worked in General Motors. My papa, my grandfather, they were from that. They worked the cotton fields. They did all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, hey, I'm good with that. Yeah. I'm proud that because now I think that the problem in America is that too many young people are entitled, and they think that the world owes them something. The world owes you nothing. And if you don't have the initiative to get up and to try to make something for yourself, then you you have nothing. The only people who have big money are the people who work for it, are the people who born with it. And I wasn't born with it. So if I ever have anything, I know I'm going to have to work for it. So it would be stupid for me to be afraid of work. I should love work because that's the only opportunity for me to make a better life for myself. Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What they love again. Oh, what they love again. What they